Hi, let's talk some Southern sayings, y'all. Here in the deep South, our tea is almost always sweet, and our Southern sayings are as warm and friendly as a worn out quilt. Our heritage runs as deep as the Mississippi River, and the expressions of our culture weave their way through our conversations like kudzu vines. It's always funny when outsiders come and they try to pronounce the names of some of our towns like Thibodeau or Natchitoches. They're always interesting. They even attempt, even on TV, to mimic our southern drawls. We always know when there's a fake one. We have a good laugh, but we especially love to laugh at ourselves. And so there's nothing better than sharing some of the southern sayings that make our language as savory as our food. So pull up a chair and let's dig into some of our favorite southern sayings. The first one we have to start with is, of course, bless your heart. It is probably the most used and most versatile of our sayings. It's the quintessential recognized Southern saying. And to us, it has three different meanings. And the understanding of bless your heart depends on the words that we stress or the length of the syllables that we use. So, genuine compassion. It's sincere. We mean it. We are having empathy and sympathy with someone, and it's bless your heart. It's genuine. We are concerned about you. I'm sorry you're going through this. It's just our way of saying that. Polite condensation. Now, more often, it's used to gently point out someone's naivety or maybe their silliness without being really harsh. It's a slight stress on the word bless, and it can soften it a little depending on the person's personality. But it's another way of saying, well, your ignorance is showing, but I won't point it out to you. So it's kind of like this: bless your heart. See, not really ugly, but you know what I mean. And then the third way, and the way we don't really like to use it unless we have to, is it's an insult to you. It can carry a bit of southern shade to it, as I've heard it defined. When it's delivered, it's kind of drawn out. Sometimes they'll be too sweet of a tone. Sometimes it can be too harsh of a tone. Just depends again on who's using it and the circumstances. But it basically is our way of saying, you poor thing, you don't know any better. And since you won't accept the truth, even if I tell you, you just go on ahead and look at it your way. So that's the three ways. So let's try the veiled insult. I'm not real good, I'm not real good at the harshness, but I'm going to give it a try. Bless your heart. There you go. So if someone uses one of those three bless your hearts, you'll know what they're saying. Most of the time when we use it, people already know. Um, Words of wisdom. Break it down by categories. Don't count your chickens before they hatch. That's a general one. We know that it's just a reminder to not count a thing done until it's done. Lord willing and the creek don't rise. Something will happen as long as everything goes as planned and no unforeseen obstacle arises. It's acknowledging that there something could come up, but the plan is to have it carried out. To cast pearls before swine. It's giving something valuable to someone who can't appreciate it or who won't even receive help from it. It actually comes from the Bible. It's words of advice from Jesus Christ. The next category, grit and gumption. Now, I'm not sharing all of the sayings that I have in the post. There's 40 something of them in this video. It would be too long. So we're just going to go over the sayings, a few of them. You can visit the article to check out all the rest of them. Come hell or high water. It's again a steadfast determination that you're going to accomplish something no matter what arises. It's a suggests stubbornness, sometimes recklessness, because it just depends on the task at hand. It's a kind of resolve to just go on and do it, forge a path, or lead on through trouble, depending on whatever the situation is. They've got gumption. Gumption is a blend of courage, initiative, and resourcefulness, and it embodies the spirit of the South. We're tackling head on challenges with a mix of boldness and problem solving. It's not just about bravery, it's about having common sense and the drive to get things done. A dash of Southern oddity. Cattywampus. That just means askew, a little crooked, not really properly aligned, that kind of thing. Like a fence might be cattywampus after a storm. From can to can't. That's mostly used in really rural settings because it means the workday starts with the sun up and it ends with the sun down. Let's talk about Southern sayings of emotion and behavior. Snug as a bug in a rug. It's being very comfortable, very settled. It's often used to describe the feeling of perfect companionship and coziness, feeling real secure in in your surroundings. When my kids were little, we would say as snug as a bug in a rug, um, for them when we're tucking them in. Bless your pea picking heart. Well, it may sound sweet, okay, but it's just another form of bless your heart. It's an expression about someone's foolishness, their actions, or something. So it might be highlight someone's ignorance. It might highlight their misbehavior. So that's another way of saying that. Being ugly. Being ugly doesn't refer to how you look. It doesn't have anything to do with appearance, but it does have to do with behavior or demeanor. It describes someone who's using mean actions or harsh, unpleasant words, indicating that they're not acting in a socially acceptable manner. You're being ugly to your sister. I guess I heard that one a lot. Everyday talk. Well, of course, everybody knows y'all. Um, I remember when I was in school, it was a big thing that y'all wasn't even a word. We were like, how can that not be? Y'all would say it all the time. It's a contraction of you all. It generally is a friendly term. It includes anyone that we're talking to. Y'all come on in the house. It can be a single person. It can be a group. It's a very versatile. We even use it in formal addresses because it's just a part of our Southern vocabulary. Let me let you go. That's a polite way of ending a conversation or a visit. Just something we say. Between you, me, and the fence post, this means it's confidential. It's just between the two of us, and you keep it a secret. Humorous and quirky. Uglier than homemade sin. Now, I don't know what homemade sin looks like. I don't even know what it is, but it means that they are extremely unattractive and very unpleasant. The devil is beating his wife. It's a time when it's raining, but the sun is shining. I don't know where it came from. I don't know the origins of it. I have really looked for it, but it's just, I bet it's a doozy of a story, but it's just been around. So if it's sun shining outside and it's rainy, we would say, oh, the devil's beating his wife. There you go. One of those southern gems. Scarce as hen's teeth. That means something's very, very rare or hard to find because, well, chickens don't have teeth. Hotter than blue blazes. Another way to describe the really intense heat of the deep south mixed with the high humidity. If you've never experienced it, you don't understand, but the humidity can be like a physical wall that you have to push past here in the deep south. So, um, hotter than blue blazes. Hog killing weather. Very cold, only lasts a few days in the South. We only get a little small window of that, but it's the time that we butcher animals. And hog killing weather is just a way of saying it's time, it's cold enough to hang the pigs and let's get them processed. Hook, line, and sinker. To fall for something entirely, especially a trick or a lie of some kind. Now, these Southern sayings offer just a taste of our rich heritage that shapes our conversations and our lives. They remind us of humor and wisdom and the resilience that's part of the deep South fabric of life. I hope that you've enjoyed this. Remember, the post has 45 sayings in it, and you can look for Let's Talk More Southern Sayings in another video.